An accident left me pregnant with my college professor's child. As I stared at the 2 red lines on the pregnancy test, a wave of despair instantly overwhelmed me. But no matter how many times I tested, the stick always showed 2 red lines. With no other choice, I had to go to his office to discuss this serious matter with him.
Well, I want to be there to support you in any way possible. Yeah, like, I would start by calling Planned Parenthood, but I don't know if a private doctor does it or if it's nicer. I don't want you to have to go to some cheap clinic.
Sounds like you've made my decision.
Excuse me?
That I should have an abortion.
I would never make such a decision for you. That is your decision to make.
Seeing the professor's hypocritical expression, I suddenly felt a wave of nausea. But to finish my studies, I had no choice but to accept his advice. When the doctor inserted that stick-like medical device into my body, the excruciating pain nearly tore me apart. As the seconds ticked by, I suddenly felt a heartbeat pulsing inside my belly. I couldn't help but ask the doctor what it was. He told me it was the baby's heartbeat, and pushed the ultrasound machine toward me, looking at this innocent new life. My original resolve to have an abortion began to waver.
Do you want to copy the photo?
Yeah.
Do we know what we want to do about the pregnancy?
I didn't answer the doctor's question. On the way home, I felt like a puppet being controlled. It was as if my soul had completely vanished in that moment. It wasn't until I got home and my mother arrived that I felt a little better. But she didn't comfort me right away. She asked if I wanted to have this baby. I had no idea how to answer that question. My mother seemed to sense what was on my mind. She walked over to the fridge and took out a bottle of beer. Then she warned me to make the right decision.
You keep this baby, you're taking care of it. It would be your child. God damn it, you were in college. You were gonna be somebody.
Who was I gonna be?
You know what I mean? You were gonna have a career and you were gonna, like, do things.
What things?
Whatever you wanted. How do I tell Kenny?
Kenny? I didn't expect my mother to fly into such a rage over this. It wasn't until she mentioned Kenny's name that I realized she was worried. Kenny might refuse to marry her because of my pregnancy. After all, Kenny is a devout believer. Fortunately, my mother calmed down quickly. As she sat beside me, I couldn't help but ask her how she met my father. She told me she had become pregnant after a one-night stand with him back then. Yet she gave birth to me even though she knew he was married. My mother's situation back then was exactly the same as mine now. So I made up my mind to have this baby. However, as the baby in my belly grew, I began to realize that raising a child wasn't going to be easy. Since I was just a college student, I needed my mother's help to cover the expenses for the baby. To get my mother to buy a stroller for the baby, I threw myself on the ground, not caring how I looked. In that moment, I felt like a complete failure. My mother immediately wore an exasperated expression, but she still agreed to spend a fortune on that stroller. We